Throughout history, the United States military has searched for ways to push human limits. Chemical enhancement, cognitive stimulants, neural implants. Today, these programs are discussed openly, but none of them compare to an experiment quietly conducted in 1983, an experiment that didn't aim to strengthen the body, but to redefine reality itself. Led by Lieutenant Colonel Wayne McDonnell, the operation produced a document later known as the Gateway Process. What began as an intelligence-gathering experiment quickly crossed into territory no military institution had officially acknowledged before. According to the report, trained subjects were not only able to separate perception from the body, but in some cases, from time itself. When the findings were presented, the document was immediately classified. Not because it failed, but because if its conclusions were correct, reality was not what anyone believed it to be. The Gateway Process was never intended to be mystical. From the beginning, Colonel McDonnell treated the project with skepticism. Every stage was grounded in physics, neuroscience, and cognitive research. Experts in quantum mechanics, bioengineering, and classical physics were consulted. The goal was simple: explain extraordinary human experiences without superstition. The resulting report outlined step-by-step methods for altering perception beyond spatial and temporal constraints. Yet what alarmed officials wasn't the technique itself, it was accessibility. The report implied that, with training, almost anyone could achieve these states. But more troubling was the implication hidden between the lines. Those who succeeded would eventually understand that the universe, as commonly perceived, does not objectively exist. What we call reality, the report suggested, might be a controlled illusion generated by the brain. According to the Gateway analysis, human perception operates like a receiver. Just as a radio tunes into one frequency while ignoring countless others, the brain filters reality into a narrow band we experience as the physical world. Matter appears solid, but at its core it is energy in motion. Fields interacting at frequencies the human brain translates into sight, sound, and touch. The report describes reality not as a collection of objects, but as an energetic system interpreted by consciousness. In this model, time is not linear, space is not absolute, and perception becomes the organizing principle of existence. This framework aligns disturbingly well with modern physics, which increasingly describes the universe as informational rather than material. One of the Gateway document's most controversial assertions is its adoption of a holographic universe model. In this view, reality behaves like a layered projection, each part containing information about the whole. Neuroscientists and physicists referenced in the report argue that the human mind itself functions as a localized hologram synchronized with a universal one. Consciousness is not produced by the brain alone, but emerges from interaction with this larger informational structure. This idea mirrors theories later explored in mainstream physics, where space-time, matter, and even causality appear to emerge from underlying data fields. The Gateway Process did not claim to prove these theories, but it treated them as operational assumptions. Rather than relying on chemicals or isolation, the Gateway Process used sound. Specific frequencies delivered through headphones were designed to synchronize the brain's hemispheres, a state later known as hemispheric coherence. This synchronization reduced analytical filtering while maintaining awareness, allowing perception to shift without loss of control. The technique originated from research by Robert Monroe, who discovered that certain audio patterns could induce altered states of consciousness reliably and repeatedly. The CIA adopted this method precisely because it avoided drugs, rituals, or belief systems. It was mechanical, repeatable, trainable, and according to the report, effective. Subjects who progressed through the program reported experiences that defied conventional explanation, not visions or hallucinations, but structured perceptions occurring without physical input. The report describes states where time collapses, spatial boundaries dissolve, and consciousness appears to operate independently of the body. Importantly, the document avoids supernatural language. These effects are described as results of perception bypassing its normal constraints. In this framework, so-called out-of-body experiences are not travel. They are reconfigurations of awareness. Reality remains unchanged. The observer changes position within it. If these conclusions were incorrect, the project would have been quietly abandoned. Instead, it was buried. The implications were too destabilizing. If perception defines reality, then control of perception becomes power. And if human consciousness can access information beyond physical constraints, traditional intelligence models collapse. The gateway process threatened to redefine surveillance, communication, and even warfare, not through machines, but through cognition. For nearly 2 decades, key sections of the report remained missing. When finally released, they raised more questions than answers. The gateway process never claimed ultimate truth. It documented observations and models, nothing more. But its final implication remains unsettling. If reality is a construct filtered by consciousness, then history's so-called magical systems may not have been fantasies, but early attempts to describe perceptual technologies without scientific language. And if modern institutions reach the same conclusions centuries later, the real question becomes unavoidable. What else have we dismissed simply because we didn't yet know how to explain it?